Hey everybody, it's Caleb. Just want to let you all know this episode was originally recorded June 13th, I believe, earlier this month. I had promised some of the people in the Knowledge Fight subreddit that I would unlock this at the end of the month because they were sort of unhappy with the paywall situation, which I totally get. At the time, this was, I believe, one of Dan's first interviews that he'd done since the show had ended. So yeah. Obviously, this conversation changed a little bit last minute because of the circumstances, but it's just a kind of nice, casual discussion about the far-right online ecosystem and Tucker Carlson's show and stuff like that. Anyway, I just wanted to let you all know that we do have a bunch of stuff coming up this week in a couple days. I thought I'd throw this up first. We recorded the first and second, the two parts for the worst tweet bracket for the first half of 2026. The first one will be on the main feed that includes the cast from the Curators podcast, which is a lot of fun. The second one is a very special Immaculate Vibes episode with both Marcos and Madison. That one will be on Patreon. And also, probably by the time that you're listening to this, also we'll have a brand new episode of MLYP's show that can be found at patreon.com/killthecomputer. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next time.
Welcome back to Kill the Computer. As always, Caleb, how you doing today?
I've got no complaints, really. It's a beautiful day in a series of beautiful days we've had in the beautiful Pacific Northwest.
Oh, yeah.
And so, of course, I have squandered that day sitting in my dimly lit office playing with synthesizers and preparing for this podcast. But I'm assuming it's wonderful outside for those who choose to be there,
those who enjoy the outdoors. It's great right now. I think you create some gems on the synth. I don't know if it was anything for the show, anything at all. I love what you create.
Thank you. Yeah, there is actually I've announced it already on this show, my album that's coming out. Like, tracking is like 90% done. And I'm hoping it'll be out this summer. I don't want to give a deadline on that because you sound like a fucking asshole when it doesn't happen. But, I'm close. It's close. And I'm really excited about it. And we'll make sure that even though it's not really related to, the show, if you're a Patreon subscriber or whatever, you'll get a copy and all that stuff. So it'll be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, got a new synthesizer and, well, not new, but, new to me, and just been kind of making some beeping and booping and some other things and enjoying my day.
Fuck yeah, sounds perfect. And to join us on this wonderful day to talk about a wonderful a person who gets haunted by demons, we have podcaster Dan. How are you doing?
Hello.
Hello.
Glad to be here. I love the outdoors.
Yeah.
It's nice in Chicago, I think. It's
pretty nice today. It's great. Yeah.
I walked outside for a minute. I didn't need a sweater, so it's an all right spring day.
We love it. It was not a sweater, not quite shorts, but it was good. It was a good one. I
apologize to butt in here, but I have just recently rediscovered shorts. You brought up shorts, and this is something I'm pretty excited about at the moment.
Wait, how did you rediscover them? Did you just never 95 degrees you were wearing jeans and pants?
Yeah. I thought I hit 40 and I was like, well, actually probably 35. And I was like, I'm too old. I can't wear shorts anymore.
It's embarrassing.
That's so real.
Yeah. Now I'm going back. 42 now and it's shorts time.
I like that there is a type of person that wears pants in the summer, and then there's a type of person that wears shorts in the winter. I feel like there needs to be a cultural exchange to understand how it is to live amongst other people, get a different experience out in the world. I think that might heal everyone.
Do you want to have your mind blown?
Yeah,
I am both of those people.
Wait, so you weren't into shorts, but only in the winter?
Well, no, I guess actually it's more I used to be that person. In high school, I wore shorts all year round because there was a girl at school that I had a crush on who said that I couldn't. And I was like, I'll show you. And then she had no interest in me whatsoever. But
she didn't find that charming?
No, but I got stuck wearing shorts in the snow for at least a year.
Shorts chose you.
Yeah.
Were you also in Chicago at this time?
That was in Missouri.
Okay, well, so it's pretty gnarly winters there too.
Yeah, I think yeah. I get some cred. Some ice cred.
Some ice cred.
Absolutely.
The coldest I've ever been in my life, I think. Well, I don't know. I think Chicago probably still does beat it. I was up there when in like 2018 when you guys had that really bad ice storm.
Oh God, yeah.
But it was the first
apocalypse?
time. I guess I was there for work and they were like, are you sure you want to go? And I didn't know, like, I'm Pacific Northwest. We just, it's like anywhere from 50 to 70 all year. So I don't know what seasons are like. I went out there and it was like, dude, I was not prepared for that. Like you take your first breath of air when you exit the airport. Oh, just bone shattering.
You feel everything leave your body. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that was a great time of year. I was in college at the time during that really fucking cold year. It was like negative 50 degrees wind chill or whatever. I discovered that you can like fill a pot or like a bowl or whatever with hot water and throw it into the air and it just instantly vaporizes. And I have a video of me doing that somewhere from like 10 years ago almost now. Very fun
That was
stuff.
so exciting when everyone was posting those videos. Oh,
yeah,
it
was
best.
A great time. I loved that winter. I loved it being disastrously cold. I love that shit. I'm a Midwesterner. That's my
hate
favorite.
to say it, but I dug it too. I recognize the danger that it poses to like people being outdoors, and that sucks. But yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, maybe it's dangerous. Maybe it does destroy your car's battery. Maybe you need to get it jumped all the fucking time when it hits that temperature, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. As much as I love Wisconsin, Chicago, Midwest weather, I think we got to talk about the man of the hour, our favorite guy, Tucker Carlson. Dan, just briefly, what are your thoughts, like historically, like overall thoughts on like where Tucker was and like where he is like now? Because you've been sort of following him more so in the recent years, generally speaking.
I think he's always been interesting to me, like as somebody who is, he's in the media and he, it's the normal media, but he's always been a little bit crazy. Like he was the bow tie guy back during the Iraq War, and like that's kind of crazy. And now with the positioning that he's staked out for himself, is a different kind of crazy. But you look back and you can always see that there was something there. Something's not quite right about him.
Yeah.
But he fits in. He fits in really well. I'm curious about your position on him in terms of like how much do you think he's part of the CIA?
In terms of the CIA, I don't really know. I don't think he's very genuine with a lot of his positions.
What?
But I do. I know. Yeah. Big shocker.
Holy shit. Oh,
but
no.
the thing that I do find odd, that I continue to find odd, is in particular in the lead up to the Iran war, he was like in touch with the Donald Trump still. He was like in the Situation Room, basically like trying to be like, hey, you should maybe rethink this. And I think it's weird because like Donald Trump has not necessarily been a very public fan of Tucker Carlson for a while now, but he seemingly always keeps him around and seems to tap him every once in a while for like, and doesn't seem to listen to him. But I guess my current position is I don't quite know what I truly believe. I don't trust him. I don't like him. I think his takes on like specifically Gaza are fine, but then you dig a little deeper and he's still talking about like Nephilims and like weird bullshit that is like sort of white supremacy coded. And it's like, I don't want to give him credit ever because he's still the same fucking guy. But he seems to like pivot on certain axioms all the time so perfectly that he is able to stay very relevant.
Yeah. I bring up the CIA thing specifically just because his dad, worked for like Voice of America.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about that.
And so the accusations linger. And then Alex Jones would constantly say that Tucker told him in private that he's with the CIA and stuff like that. So like that goss is there from that. But what you're describing, that like that pivoting on certain issues is something that the right wing is always like pretty good at doing.
Yeah.
And I think some people on the left probably are too, but the bullshit media ecosystem isn't as developed on the left as it is on the right. So we have far more examples of it. Like there were a ton of people who were on the right, ostensibly, who gave voice to Occupy Wall Street, or some of the Tea Party people had commonalities, at least in appearance, with people who had, you know, fairly left-coded protest or activism aims. I think they're good at co-opting. It's something that it's in the DNA of the right-wing entertainment stuff.
Well, that's like part and parcel of how the right launders their ideas. I mean, it goes all the way back to, Dan, you're about my age, so you maybe remember when MSNBC hired fucking Pat Buchanan to be like the voice of like the anti-war right, and it's like, well, this is what they do is they'll raise like legitimate popular grievances, and then they sort of like deliver payloads through these grievances, and then the mask slowly starts to slip, like you see with Tucker. He's got these, you know, I just hate seeing people falling for it genuinely, like, oh wow, Tucker, like he's really good on Palestine, but then like you said, Jen, you listen to him, it's like, well, he still believes in Nephilim, and he's still like explicitly a fucking Christo-fascist white nationalist, you know what I mean? But people do it, it's got to be working for somebody, because he's still leaning into this.
Well, yeah, I think that what it speaks to is that it's not that he's good on Gaza or Palestine, any of that. He's not good on those issues. It's that everyone's bad. Like the people have been so bad on it that he
so starved for somebody to say like, hey, this is a genocide, that like when Tucker says it, it's like, wow, look at him.
Yeah, and I think that also there's such a desire to take at face value that like, oh, what he's saying means that he's on my side. Yeah. But instead, when you examine for even a second, like what these, like, okay, where do you think the agreement is? If you dig a little bit deeper, you find even the things that he's basing his Gaza takes on, you would not agree with what's underneath them. You just agree with a surface level.
Yeah, absolutely. Because then it's like, well, they're bombing Christians too. And it's like, well, there it is, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't have to, I think that's part of it. And maybe that's reassuring, is because people only see the 30-second clip in the clip farm economy or something, and they're not actually engaging with what he's saying. Unfortunately, I have destroyed my brain, not a ton, but I have listened to, I'd probably say about 40 or 50 hours of Tucker Carlson's. I've actually wanted to do an episode like this for a year or something, or more. That is not actually it was right around when you guys did your about a year ago, your two-parter on Knowledge Fight about Tucker. I was like, oh, I just want to hit the angle of like, you don't have to give it to ISIS, like the drill tweet, because I saw so many people on social media just kind of stupidly doing that. Even if they don't engage with it beyond that, it's still not good. You know what I mean?
We do this to ourselves so much. Yeah. We fall for this stuff, like Glenn Beck crying on Samantha Bee's show about how sorry he was, and like, you know, like we do this to ourselves a lot. We want to believe the best in people. I think that's part of what the issue is. Like, people fall for it because it really feels like if this were a movie, you would be having your like, oh no, I've been a horrible person moment. And we want to believe that that's what these people are going through, like a Tucker, and it's just not.
Yeah, and I for years now, I mean, especially in Trump's first term, we saw so many people. I will name drop Glenn Greenwald. He was a big proponent of this like growing faction of anti-war right wingers, and it's like, I'm sorry, dude. Where the fuck are they now? They're not here. They just got rid of Thomas Massey in Kentucky, the like nominally one actual probably anti-war Republican, and it's like it's because they will when Joe Biden is president, they'll be like, we can't do this, we can't do that, and it's like there is no follow through. They don't need to have any follow through there. They can say absolutely whatever bullshit they need. And then it like always tricks people. Whenever I see people like Cenk Uygur be like, hey, we have to like, we have to support people where they are. And it's like, but they are only there superficially and will not be for once it's actually like rubber hits the road. Like, that's just so often. And it's like, I don't know. Tucker Carlson is I think probably the perfect current example of someone like that, where he is, and especially Caleb, you mentioned like the clips. It's sort of like people will see a very short clip of him, and everyone will be like, "Wow, look at Tucker!" And it's sort of
even
intentional.
Tucker sees that this is wrong, right? You know.
Yeah.
Speaking of like Cenk and Anna, oh my goodness, they're really kind of they've kind of, I don't know. I saw a clip of Anna slowly like kind of soft launching a Christian arc. Did you see that?
I did. It was like a day or two ago, right?
Very recently, yeah.
She's been saved. She's heard the good news.
We're not there
this is
yet.
fantastic.
That's like, I think she's waiting to see how the numbers come in on this because she was doing this thing where it was like, well, you know, I grew up a Christian and I've always kind of kept some of those values and I'm kind of re-examining them or something. I can't really speak intelligently on it, so I'm doing the thing that I was just criticizing a second ago. So I'll shut up. But like, it didn't look good, is all I'm saying. And then Cenk as well has you know, he was on. I don't know if Anna has been, but Cenk was on Tucker's show. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and I don't think that, you know, it's inherently wrong to be on his show, but I do think that Cenk didn't do great. But like, I don't know. I don't follow the Young Turks folks too closely because I just kind of like, I don't know. At a certain point, I figured like, all right, we got some real winners coming out of there. We got like the Dave Rubins of the world and the like, Doors.
Yeah,
and it's just like if this is the fruit that comes out of this factory, then their machinery's broken. I don't think it can't be good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you want to maybe give us your take on? I can't really call it a pivot, but you know what I mean, of just like Tucker going from the Tucker that we all kind of grew up with to this. Like when did that happen? And then we'll talk about why afterwards.
Well, I to be totally fair, I don't know if I know exactly where. I can give you some general senses and what have you, but like I've not studied him in as minute detail as I have Alex Jones. But you know, I think it was like 2013 or 2014 ish when he started making peace with Alex behind the scenes as like a way of extending an olive branch to like the crazier side of the right wing media. And this would have been, you know, a little bit after Alex made a big splash on Piers Morgan's show, yelling about how, you Brit trying to take our guns, get out of here, or 1776 will start again. So Alex was really hot at that point. And I think that Tucker, whether or not he was making an ideological shift, recognized that there was something worth like, let's not make an enemy of this guy. This might be lucrative somewhere. So he was nice to Alex in a way that no one else was, but still wouldn't associate with him. Still absolutely wouldn't be like guests on each other's shows, really. And I don't know when he started to suck. I mean, because my answer to that question is he's always sucked.
I think so. Yeah, he's definitely always sucked.
I guess what I would say to reframe that is like, when did he start sort of, I don't know if honeypotting is the right word. When is he starting to try it and like appeal to various stripes of disaffected leftists or people on the left or just anti-war independents or whatever?
Well, I think that, you know, he I would assume that would have been, you know, my guess, again, I'm going to couch this a little bit.
Sure.
I think that probably it became a lot more conscious of a thing he was doing when he left Fox News or when he had to leave Fox. Yeah. Because until then, there was like, you're never really going to appeal to disaffected people in the center or on the left if you're on Fox News. And his brand prior to that had been like, you know, Crossfire and like, oh no, I fuck the left, you know, like all. He was very into being contrarian and arguing and like hostile. So I feel like after the break with Fox News, when the real populism. I like the way you described it as a honeypot. that kind of does feel appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah, I just kind of, I just wonder at what point does he, start doing it more intentionally. Like, obviously, I think we can all agree he doesn't believe any of this, but it does kind of like ring true. And I also just kind of wondering what the motivation is, what the impetus is in kind of changing that. I know he did. How long ago was the apology tour now?
Which one?
The Tucker Carlson. I think he did like a book signing apology tour for like, sorry, I was on Fox and did like a bunch of like warmongering.
Well, because he also recently did a sorry about the Trump thing tour.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Sorry, I said that
apology tours is so good, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when, but like here's the thing with him. I have spent all of my adult life, at least, not really ever believing that he could be sincere. Like, there was a part of me that always knew, like, okay, here's a guy who was a big supporter of the Iraq War and then wasn't, and pretended that he wasn't, and didn't change anything about himself. And that disillusionment doesn't really go away. So when he started becoming like a Trump figure, I kind of figured, like, okay, he's gonna have to abandon this at some point. Like, so he's never been somebody that I've been like, I've got to keep up on his heartbeat. I've got to track this guy because I know it's all just gonna be bullshit.
So Dan, it sounds like you're more like me, where this surprised you as somebody who like studies the right or whatever. This kind of snuck up on you as well. So was it like when was the moment for you that you noticed? For me, I think it was the Ted Cruz interview.
Oh, that was huge. I mean, that made a big splash for sure.
Yeah.
I want to be clear. I'm not surprised by it at all. I'm not surprised by him existing as this guy who's like trying to make a bridge into like an available market. That doesn't surprise me. He's a worm. He will go anywhere. And I mean, he sells like nicotine pouches.
He's the biggest zinner.
Right,
he loves Zin. Zin loves him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking insane. Like, so I'm not all that surprised by that. But what I am surprised by is the willingness that he has to be the kind of character that he is. Like, the saying he got attacked by a demon as part of his like push towards a Christian audience, and like being willing to be that aggressive against Ted Cruz in a way that is signaling towards like possibly a audience that's critical of the Israeli government, but also an audience that is just straight up Nazis who are like, we just want to talk about Jewish power and bad. Like, I'm surprised that he would go that far. That seems like the place where it'd be like, all right, look, we're all trying to make some money here. This is all fun and games, but you're now basically getting into Holocaust denial. And
I got it. I pulled back what I forgot earlier. To your point earlier, like, he sees, I think he makes these certain pivots, and I think he's always made these different pivots as he's seen like blood in the water. And in this one in particular, he saw the intense weakness with Democratic politicians on Gaza and on Israel, where the voters just are completely at odds with the Democratic politicians. So I think he noticed that quick. I think the thing is with Tucker Carlson, I think he's smart but evil. Like, some people are very smart and like can like do good with that, sure, but he understands. He's very intuitive. He's very quick to like switch up what he needs to do for whatever his purposes are. And I think he can see that there is such a lane out there, and he can sort of get people on his side. And maybe the honeypot being like, he can sort of maybe try to convert people to this like more extreme sort of like Christian politics that he's trying to, and I think ultimately for his own benefit, because even when he was on Fox News, he was sort of, he didn't say it super explicitly, but he had a writer on staff for a while before he got exposed and fired for being like on
remember
Stormfront
that.
or whatever, or 4chan or whatever it was. He was giving a lot of credence to like Great Replacement Theory, a lot of these very conspiratorial ideas. When it was like probably, I think, end of Trump 1, early Biden, he was saying a lot of this stuff. And I think he's always sort of just positioned himself in a very populist way for his benefit, because he can see where the tides are turning way earlier than a lot of people. I think he's just really tuned in. And on top of that, I was, for my other podcast, doing research in Fox News, Tucker Carlson's lifespan. I found a documentary he did called The End of Men. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Is that the one that included like the ball tanning?
It is the very notorious documentary where that whole became the thing. And I watched it. I watched the whole documentary.
We can't just move on from that.
The ball tanning? You don't know about ball tanning?
That's new to me. What do we got going on here?
I cannot believe you've never heard of that.
Hasn't hit the Pacific Northwest yet, apparently.
No, we just do that normally. We need to.
Ball tanning. So I thought it was they just like had their balls up to the sun, but no, they put like red light, like LED red lights up to their like anuses and balls, and it like theoretically what these people say, there's no science backing it, but what they say this does is it like regenerates their cells and their sperm cells, and it like increases testosterone and sperm production if you tan your balls.
So it's like those electric bald caps, but like underwear.
Yeah, exactly. It's that same idea with like, especially red light therapy. It's red light therapy thought, but on your balls, which is crazy. But in that, so like, yeah, it might work. Yeah, look, it's very experimental science. Who knows? But in this documentary, so he like gives credence to like people that are pushing that. He talks to the raw egg nationalist, talks to like a lot of the like weird online figures that we have known for a while. But the first voice you hear in the documentary is not Tucker Carlson, it's RFK Jr. This came out in like 2022. He's been on the fucking cusp on like so many of the like different pivots of the Republican Party base and like the more independent right-leaning base. And I think it's just sort of what he's doing now is just what he's always done, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think you're saying he's smart and evil. And I think that's right. I mean, people saying he's stupid, I mean, that there's no time for that.
Yeah,
but
I just don't think he's stupid.
I think he's also cynical. And I think that's the like, along with the evil thing, that when we would cover him, I loved covering Tucker. My co-host on Knowledge Fight, Jordan, not as much. Because Tucker's voice is infuriating. Like, it's very, you want to punch it. It's such a he's a troll, and you know it.
He always wants to get the last word.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys.
Listening to his voice sucks, but I kind of loved it because I would listen to him and think, "Oh, you asshole! Oh, you asshole!" And I could see the insincerity and the like. You don't believe in it. You don't think you got attacked by a demon in the middle of the night? What are you talking about? Like, you were the same guy who was like, I don't know, dropping slurs on Bubba the Love Sponge's show back in the like early 2000s. Like, come on, man, don't give me this shit. So like, yeah. I think that the cynicism that he has allows him to jump on things. Like, it would have been kind of tacky for someone to be anti-vax maybe earlier on in the right wing. It looked bad because vaccines work. And but he's cynical, and he's willing to play to whatever market like looks lucrative to him.
I think he uniquely understands like wielding power and like how to like wield politics and shift power very, very well in that way, which is why I sadly say he is smart. I think he is one of the smarter people. I mean, not smart enough. He did get fucking fired in Fox News over one of those one of the lawsuits. That was pretty dumb that he got caught up in that. So maybe
that
not that smart.
Ultimately might have played to his advantage, though.
I think it kind of did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's stupid on one level, but stupid like a fox, maybe. But I think.
Can you guys expound on that a little bit for those who don't know what you're talking about? The lawsuit.
He was the Smartmatic or Dominion. I think all of them. The voting machine companies in the 2020 election took issue with some of the things that Fox News personalities were saying about stealing the elections that they sued them, and Tucker was party of that lawsuit, and Fox News lost a lot of money, and it was around then that I've never been fully clear on whether or not that was the reason he ended up getting fired or leaving Fox News. But it was definitely around the same time.
I believe he was one of the main people on the channel, on the network, pushing the theory that there was like fraud in the election.
Yeah.
So I believe he was like one of the targets. I believe
things.
Yeah, I think he was sort of like part of the deal that like, hey, we won't make this as bad for you if you get rid of Tucker, is I believe what it ended up being.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's right. I think he was also like trouble to work with. I think there was maybe some HR issues too.
Yeah, I'm not sure too much about that. Do you know more? I actually don't know anything about that. Just sort of behind the scenes stuff with him.
Well, there were a number of like text messages that got leaked of him, like, you know, the things that were of him talking about how much he hated Trump, and people like I can't remember if it was texts or emails that were like human resources and talking about him like berating staff and stuff like that. So there was always like a plausible little bit of like, well, maybe he got fired over something else.
Oh. I don't know.
Maybe they would have kept him even if they got sued, if he was a joy to be around.
I guess that like they to give Fox News credit, they have fired people in the past. Bill O'Reilly for like similar stuff, but
Sure.
Roger Ailes, I don't know. It's hard to
Michael
give credit
Savage?
to them. Yeah.
Wait,
I guess.
was he on Fox or was that MSNBC?
I actually
What
don't
was Michael
know.
Savage on?
Isn't he the relationship guy, or am I thinking of a
No.
different? I'm thinking
That's
of
Dan
who's that?
Savage.
Dan Savage, mixing up
Very
savages.
different.
That's
Very
totally- Way
Michael
different. My bad.
Savage is an old school radio guy on the right wing, and he hosted the Savage Nation.
Oh yeah, I remember. He still does, apparently.
Yep, I think he's still alive, but he had a TV show for a short period of time.
It was
And
MSNBC, and he has a podcast now.
See, that's a really good example of this. MSNBC had the Michael Savage show on it. He ended up getting fired because he yelled at a gay caller, like, I hope you get AIDS and die, or something like that. And
Oh my God.
yeah, it was a real mess. But yeah, Michael Savage.
Another bad dude.
Yeah.
And he's still out there
You
podcasting
guys talked
somewhere.
about Bill O'Reilly, and I just immediately started thinking of falafel.
Oh,
Wait, what's the
HR
falafel bit?
problems?
Yeah, Bill O'Reilly sexually harassed one of his coworkers, and she recorded him on a phone call where he said he wanted to use falafel in a way with her that was not HR friendly in the shower, and yeah, it's a very bizarre situation. Anyway,
Oh God, damn!
He
There's all these people
clearly
are freaks.
He thought the word meant loofah.
that's
I think that was
right. You got
the-
him mixed up. That's even better.
Yeah, I think that was the confusion that he had.
Oh, dude, what a
Yeah.
character!
What a guy.
So many of these fucking freaks are such characters. It's crazy. But to bring this back to Tucker specifically, or maybe not, but I think like what like Tucker has done, and like some other people in the more independent right wing sphere have sort of started to do these different pivots. I think in a different way. Candace Owens, not in the same pivot as Tucker has. She is very explicitly like anti-Semitic in ways where she will talk about like magical Jews and like all of these like really fucking crazy things. But they have made these like really explicit pivots that you wouldn't even expect from people like Alex Jones in some cases. I'm sure you remember when Alex Jones had Kanye West on and it was like, yeah, I don't really want to say anything good about Hitler. And it's like a lot of these different people, like not Tucker. I don't know about Tucker actually. But like some of these people are getting on really fucking weird territories, and they seem to be fairly popular with their bases that they do have. I don't think that they're massive, but I do think they're significant still. And I don't know. Do you think that that Fox News, all of these different people will start to follow, maybe more Tucker, less Candace, but do you think they'll sort of start to follow, and especially as Trump sort of dies or like his second term ends, if it does anytime soon, do you think they'll sort of be like, okay, we can't stand by the war in Iran, we have to like start to like pivot? Do you think that they're gonna like follow Tucker in that way?
Well, that is the danger, isn't it? I mean, like the difficulty is that the roads in front of that kind of an audience, it seems like the becoming less radical, that doesn't seem like an option. So the danger is that these types of voices like Tucker, and you say that Candace is more extreme than Tucker, and that may be the case in some instances, but I've watched a fair amount of his show, and Tucker's pretty overt. Like it's very much become like a who's telling us what about the Holocaust? What's going on with this? So
yeah.
I think that
Candace is just more clownish. You know what I mean? It's just easier to laugh at because she's just ridiculous.
And I think that she's a little more confrontational, whereas Tucker is a bit more passive aggressive and what? He does that face all the time, and it's just
How many countries were they kicked out of?
Right. Yeah, exactly. He does that kind of shit, whereas Candace will like yell at somebody.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing that I find fascinating about these pivots that they make is that, one of the things I think that they all have in common is that they come on the bones of whatever they used to be and whoever they used to associate with. So like Candace is doing this pivot, and a lot of it has to do with like burning Erica Kirk and burning Turning Point USA and making her pivot in contrast to that. And I think you'll see, generally Tucker is going to do that with Trump and, some of these things that he's associated with. He'll use those bones to build his new home.
Yeah, they're really quick to do that too. You don't really see that on the left in the same ways. Really, the only way you can really do that on the left is to become a right winger, to do that right wing grift, because there's no room for being like, oh, I used to be pro trans, now I hate you all. There's not really room for stuff like that, which I think is great. I think it's good that the left generally is a little bit more strict with like shifting beliefs on like very important grounds like that, and the right is just like a lot more open to be like, oh yeah, you supported the war in Iran yesterday, now you're or now you don't. Like that's cool, that's fine. They don't really fucking care about integrity in that way.
Yeah, I'm sure that there are examples of people on the left who are the counter to that, and so I don't want to say that it doesn't exist.
Sure, yeah.
But like, I think that a lot of the time there are people who like see the light and they realize like, oh, this position that I had, I didn't take into account a certain variable. But like so many of these people, like let's say Tucker or Lauren Southern or Candace Owens, so many of them are like, oh no, I unsaw the light. Their new pivot is like, I became less aware of something that I pretended I was aware of before. And that to me is just like a hallmark of, okay, I'm not going to take this seriously. This person's coming from an insincere place.
Yeah, and it's such a shame that the right has just sort of mastered the media ecosystem. When I was a bit younger, I used to be like, oh yeah, it's the internet age, the right is going to fall apart. It was sort of during that the era of like Reddit atheism, I guess, where it's like, see, Reddit atheism destroyed Christianity. This is how we know we're only going to have facts in the future. And like, wow, look at me, I'm a egg on my face with that. Not really true at all. And like now, like we just sort of see that the right has had the monopoly over like radio with Rush Limbaugh. It's sort of just like a continuation. They have those roots in different forms of media so quick, so easily. They dominate it, and a big part of it is probably because of money. They're able to like inject. It definitely is. They're able to inject that money really quick. All
the right wing demons bought everything out. Right?
Yeah, it is because of money, absolutely, and that sort of just snuffs out any opposition, especially because a lot of the left is grassroots. It really makes it harder for those voices to establish themselves. And I guess I was surprised as I was getting into college that I was like, oh wait, maybe it won't be that easy. Maybe Reddit atheism won't save us all.
I was just going to say that I've been on a little bit of a road trip across America, and I have seen a fair amount of churches. So I do not think that Reddit atheism killed Christianity. I think there's a lot of crosses along the road and a ton of churches.
Yeah.
My favorite, I'm sure you've seen some of them, especially in the Midwest. I'm sure they're everywhere, but you get into like some county areas and you'll see like military trucks with like insane scrawls, just like manifestos written on trucks on the side of like military trucks. Those are my favorite, where it's like, this country doesn't allow communists. If you're a communist in my backyard, you'll be shot on sight. I love that shit. That was when I went to college, that was all around me in like the farm areas. It was so funny.
That's cool. That's chill.
So cool.
Land of the free.
No, those are my favorite.
I have a question for both of you guys.
Yeah.
We saw recently Tucker Carlson's whatever account, his website, whatever it was, got hacked, and we saw that he had shockingly few subscribers. So I guess what I would ask is, we've kind of meandered around what he's trying to sell, but who's he trying to sell to? Who's listening? Who's this for?
I don't know. I as somebody who's listened to Alex Jones for like 10 years professionally, I don't know who's listening to that. And that's what I would listen to. Like, I don't know who those audiences are. So here's what comes to my mind. I went to Tucker's show in Pennsylvania because Alex Jones was a guest on it. And so I flew to Pennsylvania to go to that show, I don't know, like a year ago or whenever that was. And it was packed. But a lot of the people were in InfoWars shirts. And so I think a lot of them were maybe Alex people. I don't know who the audience was. I do know that the first 40 minutes of the performance was brokered programming. There was like a group of people who were selling like sleep syrup that you could take that might have been like NyQuil or whatever, but like not woke NyQuil. There was a guy who was running for like a local office who had given Tucker some money. So like it was all crazy advertising targeted at these people. I don't know who the market is, but I know that that's what's propping it up.
This sort of like Rube listener that would just sort of buy anything if he's selling.
That buys like based NyQuil.
Well, I think that so when I was growing up, you would always go to like dollar stores or flea markets in Missouri, and you'd see like, wait, why does this thrift store have 20 copies of Ben Carson's book? Like, why are they all here? It's like, oh, they got dumped here. Someone just bought a box of them and left them here. So like, I think that I've always had the feeling, and this is kind of affirmed by that Tucker website hack, the idea that there may be less of an actual market than what appears to be being sold. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of these people who pour money into things can just, it's an investment to have these kinds of bullshit opinions out there. They want the political part of it, so who cares if it's making money? You drop money into making, like, for example, Ben Carson's book a bestseller, and that raises his profile enough that he ends up the Housing and Urban Development Secretary. Like, it's kind of it there's a part of it that feels far more cynical than supply and demand,
Absolutely. And Caleb, like, onto your point a little bit more about like subscribers, I think it was on Twitter recently, the Tucker Carlson Network Twitter account posted some infographic that was like, wow, look at us, we have like 60 million views or whatever the number was. And it's like, okay, that doesn't sound right, because I think some of his videos on YouTube do get a lot of views, but like, where are the other views coming from? And like, if you look in the infographic, they're talking about Twitter like clip views.
Oh, Twitter
too.
impressions?
Yeah, like Twitter impressions. Like that's not quite a view on Twitter. Like I don't know about you guys, but if you've ever posted a video ever on Twitter and look at the analytics for it, like 90% of the people who watch a video click off after the first 2 seconds. I wouldn't really count that as a view of the Tucker Carlson network show experience. And they seem to. So it is sort of this like overinflation, this overvaluation of themselves to like, I think to launder a lot of opinions and thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to have the same harsh awakening at some point that almost all print and media did with the illusion that social media is boosting traffic as much as it is. It's illusory and fake. The difference is those people like Tucker have tons and tons of money behind them. So I don't think they care.
No,
whereas like a struggling media outlet that gets tricked by Facebook video views or whatever, like that could really sink them. They could go out of business because of that. But Tucker, who cares? Someone else will just write him a check. Some other weird sleep syrup.
No, they have. I mean, that's the benefit of the right wing sphere is that they sort of do have. If they know the right people, if they have the right connections, if they've made the right deals, they sort of have an unlimited fountain to do whatever they want with of money, and you can see that. I don't know if you guys, I've been sort of obsessed with this new Washington Post like center right leaning podcast that they've started.
Dude.
It's called
not heard of this.
It's like fairly new. The last like month. It's called I think it's called or it's like some quippy fucking I'm obsessed with it. I can't even remember the fucking name. The reason I can't remember it is it gets like 200 views per episode maximum
until people started making fun of it. Like it would literally, this is not an exaggeration, some of their the 0 likes across all their socials, they were on Blue Sky, and that's where it started to take off, as people like yelling at them, like 30 views, 0 likes, you know what I mean?
It's called Make It Make Sense.
And it's like a Washington Post produced show.
Absolutely. They tag the Washington Post. They like accept the YouTube collaboration every episode. So it's Washington Post and Make It Make Sense, and it's the center right leaning podcast. And it's like they got one. Oh, I'm wrong. They got one new video that got like 16,000 views because they collabed with whoever this fucking weirdo is. But whenever it's just like them, it's like they get 200 views, and it's like it's a perfect example
are all
of
those people telling them like to shut the fuck up, basically.
Yeah, but I think that's like a perfect example of like just money propping up bullshit. It's like there's less of an audience for this, but it's going to keep going and being produced for at least a while because it is useful propaganda purposes, because it's clippable on Twitter. They post it on Twitter in short clips, and it gets millions of impressions because people are like dunking or like raging on it.
Yeah, and I think that I having not watched it, but I take a point, or I guess I get a sense of what it is based on the description of center right. So the thing that sucks about this kind of media space is that those kinds of things are always like they sell themselves to a certain degree, because there's crazy stuff like Tucker and Alex, and as they get crazier, the right wing needs something that's like, hey, look, we don't want to support unions and we hate people who look different than us, but we're not them. They're crazy.
Yeah.
And so investing in building up something that is like center right, it makes sense that like this would be something that they'd want to do. You know, this is something that is important for the continuation of the right-wing media cycle.
Yeah, I just like you know we say who knows where Tucker Carlson's audience is. It's a who fucking knows, but it does seem like, at least on the right wing generally, they're not really looking for this sort of more center opinion. They voted out Thomas Massie because Donald Trump told them to, because Thomas Massie voted against the Iran war and voted to release the Epstein files, basically. And that was enough for them to just be like, yep, you're gone. So I don't really know how much room there is for a lot of this stuff. It seems like the crazies are sort of winning out. And I sort of question like the tact here. It doesn't really seem like it'll work out. Maybe again, maybe Donald Trump dies, everyone like resets and becomes normal again. I don't really know.
Yeah, but for one thing, I think that I don't know exactly what's going on in Thomas Massey's, like where the people were actually voting. So
Yeah.
I don't know what motivated all of their votes. So I would be reluctant to say it was just because Trump told people not to, although that might have been a part of it. But here's the other thing: like Thomas Massey is not like cool.
No, he sucks. He sucks real
He
bad.
at best is like a Ron Paul-ish character. And we all got tricked into liking Ron Paul because he gave lip service to thinking weed was cool and he was against the Iraq War.
Yeah.
But he stands for a ton of the shit that ended up getting us to Trump and where we are now. And Massey's no different. He just, you know, is he's unlucky to exist as that kind of figure at a time when Trump is in power
Yeah.
because Trump doesn't want the competition. Whereas, like, John McCain couldn't do anything about Ron Paul existing.
Yeah. And like, again, yet another example of me being like, wow, look at this crazy person doing one or two good things. Got to give him some credit. It's like, that's always what they'll fucking do. They'll always do
People
that one
fall
or
for
two
that
good things. Yeah.
With Marjorie Taylor Greene,
I
too,
know, that
now.
one
Like,
drives me
what
crazy.
Are we doing?
Yeah. So I think, so a lot of people have been questioning recently, and I'm sort of this mind that it feels like Tucker Carlson is sort of aiming to maybe run for president in the Republican Party in 2028. Where are you on that? Do you sort of see him trying to make that lane, sort of be this like weird populist, like amorphous guy?
Well, I think there's a danger of us joking that into existence.
Yeah,
And
true.
I think people should be very careful about how much they play into that, because he is like I said, he's a troll. And so like he will be able to roll with people making jokes about that and use it to his advantage and grow his platform in, you know, whatever ways he can. But beyond that, I think he'd be, if he's not thinking about it, sort of, he's an idiot. Like, he could win, probably. These days, like, I don't know. Like, I think that most people are so disaffected with electoralism, and a lot of it comes down to an emotionality, especially in the, you know, the Trump audience. And Tucker can tap into that in a way that, like, he said Trump was their daddy and he was coming home and he was going to spank the unruly child, and people cheered. It was one of the most embarrassing things anybody has ever said at a rally.
These people want daddy.
Yeah, and like that didn't tarnish him. He said that he got attacked by a demon in the night, and like people are still like nodding along and being like, yes, you are a respectable public personality we should take seriously. Like, if he's not thinking, like, I think if he's not thinking that he can trick people into voting for him, then he doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, because it especially seems like JD Vance sort of was like the guy at first, but it feels like he is sort of falling from grace. I don't know if you saw that story. I don't even know if it was true. It sort of came out of nowhere. I didn't really see sourcing on it, but there was like talk about JD Vance potentially stepping aside in 2028. I don't know if you saw that.
I did see that. Yeah.
But it feels like there's sort of this, and I think JD Vance was always going to sort of be the, like, if he ran for president after Trump, he would sort of be the populist right-leaning guy, because that's always sort of been his angle. Again, I do not trust a word of it, especially given the Iran war and all of the different bullshit that they've done under this administration. But it feels like there is sort of this open acknowledgement that there is someone eventually going to try to fill that lane in a future Republican primary.
Yeah. Well, here's what I think. I think that, like, we're past the looking glass in terms of me being able to predict anything. So, like,
yeah, no predictions.
If Trump wants to be the president again, maybe that'll happen. Who knows?
Yeah.
But if that's not the case, then the election in 2028 will be litigated as an anti-election. Mm-hmm. In terms of, like, whoever's running for the Republican side, they're not going to be like, I'm great and I'll make your life better. They're going to be like, Gavin Newsom's a demon. Like, that's going to be their platform in 2028. And so with Vance, the risk is that the actual base would be against him. And so, like, there would be a grassroots or whatever kind of enough of people like Tucker or Alex. Not Alex. He doesn't care. But, like, enough people who are like, no, I'm not going to demonize the Democrats. I'm also going to demonize you because you suck. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of the people who are in Trump's administration now are going to have the difficulty of being like, I know I suck, but these people suck more. Newsom sucks more. I think they're not going to be able to distract people as easily with that, and so I think they'll want to avoid that. And Tucker could avoid that. He would be someone who would be clean of a lot of the stink of this administration.
Yeah, I sadly have to agree. He'll probably try to do that, at least if he does move towards that way. I just find it so odd because he also spoke at Charlie Kirk's funeral, if I remember correctly. Like he
moving speech.
Yeah, I am not. It's been a while since I watched it. I watched it like that day. I don't entirely remember the composition of it, but it was sort of like the Jack Posobiec sort of very like, ooh, like this is really kind of reactionary, like scary rhetoric being levied out right now.
I think he may have talked about how the Jews killed Jesus in the Charlie Kirk memorial speech.
It's like he's fucking crazy. How does he have the reputation as being like a normal dude? Like he is clearly fucking hopped up on super far right reactionary like nonsense. And I don't know. I hope people see through that. I really do.
I think so much of it has to boil down to, like, he knows that a lot of people know he's lying and it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Like, I think he's one of the few figures who is truly free of, like, shame or any kind of introspection. And I think that probably it was a trial by fire that, like, he was, I don't know, how old was he? Late 20s? Wearing a bow tie on TV, getting dunked on. Yeah, and like I think the fact that he survived that and was still rich and famous and people would take him seriously, he has to know that like it doesn't matter. I can do anything.
Yeah, I mean, we also just like live in that era where like reality doesn't matter too much. You'll see things happening in front of you. You'll be like, wow, the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And then everyone in like the right wing media sphere, like the traditional like establishment media will be like, and it's going to be open tomorrow. All right, we'll come back tomorrow. And it's like, wait, the strait is still closed. There's not been a deal. And they're like, well, it might be open, like Trump is saying. And it's like nothing like we're in a post-truth era, like at least currently with like the way that the far right operates, especially in government. They just sort of say shit. People just believe it. It's sort of horrifying that you can just make up reality in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dan, I really want to thank you for spending an hour with us. I really appreciate it. Is there anything you would like to plug while we've got you?
Sure. I have a show that I'm working on called Show Me State of Mind. That showmestateofmind.com is my website. Actually, this weaves in interestingly because I mentioned that I was on a road trip, and in anticipation of doing this show, I was driving around and I saw on a map that there was a town called Tucker's Crossroads in Tennessee. And I went there. It was a ways out of my way, but I thought, hey, I'm going to come on here and talk about Tucker. I'm going to physically go to Tucker's Crossroads and see what I could find there. And I found nothing. There was like 4 or 5 buildings, but
oh my God,
it exists. And I was there.
That's amazing. Awesome. Please go check that out.
Whatever you end up doing with that, I'm really excited. Just wanted to say I've been a fan for a very long time, so it's really wonderful to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm. June, do we have any other housekeeping or announcements? I know we just did this with the last episode we recorded today, but anything we want to announce?
I think we're good. I think we're totally up to date.
Okay. Well, we will see you guys next week, and thanks for listening.
See ya.
the computer.